What is true success? This question has echoed through centuries, often with different answers. But according to the Stoic philosophers, success is not found in external achievements, but in the inner victory we experience each day. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." So what if I told you that the key to a successful life isn't about reaching the destination, but about the mindset you bring to each moment? Today, we will explore how you can live from a place of victory, not by chasing the next big goal, but by cultivating a Stoic mindset. This shift in perspective will help you find freedom through your thoughts and actions, allowing you to overcome obstacles without the stress and overwhelm of external pressures. Stick with me, and by the end of this video, you'll discover how to start building your success from within. If you're ready for this powerful transformation, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the Stoic Narratives official community. Number 1. Victory begins with mindset. Imagine you're facing a tough challenge. Maybe it's a deadline at work, a personal setback, or an obstacle you didn't expect. It feels overwhelming, doesn't it? But what if I told you that in these moments, the real battle isn't the challenge itself? It's your mindset. A few years ago, I was working on a big project. I had planned everything meticulously, but life threw unexpected hurdles my way. I remember feeling anxious, almost defeated, but I stopped. I recalled a key principle from Stoic philosophy that has since shaped my approach to overcoming difficulties. The obstacle is the way. This quote by Marcus Aurelius reminds us that challenges are not something to avoid, but rather something to embrace. Our mindset determines how we face adversity, how we grow from it, and whether we ultimately succeed or fail. It is not the external events that determine our success, but the thoughts we hold about them. The Stoic approach to mindset teaches us to accept what we cannot control and focus on what we can, our thoughts, reactions, and actions. This doesn't mean we ignore reality or pretend things are easy. It means we choose to meet life's challenges with clarity, equanimity, and a sense of purpose. Let's consider another idea from the Stoics. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. This insight is crucial because our mind tends to catastrophize situations. When we let our thoughts spiral, we make obstacles appear larger than they really are. We imagine failure before it happens, and the stress builds long before the challenge even begins. The key is learning how to control your thoughts. When faced with a difficulty, the Stoics encourage us to ask ourselves, what is in my power to change? It's easy to get lost in what's outside our control, other people's actions, the economy, unforeseen events. But success, true success, begins when we focus on what we can control, our mindset. Let's break it down. In practical terms, this means training your mind to look for solutions rather than dwelling on problems. If you're feeling stuck, rather than wallowing in frustration, ask yourself, what is the best way to approach this? Shift your thinking from defeat to possibility. The Stoic mindset is not about suppressing emotions, but about understanding them. When emotions like fear or anger arise, they are signals that there's something to learn. Instead of being overwhelmed by these feelings, ask yourself, what can I learn from this situation? Use it as an opportunity for growth. Take the story of Viktor Frankl, the psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor. He was in one of the darkest places imaginable, yet he found a way to turn his mindset into a source of strength. Frankl famously said, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." His ability to find meaning in suffering is a profound example of how our mindset shapes our experience, no matter how dire the circumstances. In your own life, try to apply this principle. When you encounter an obstacle, instead of seeing it as a roadblock, see it as an opportunity to strengthen your inner victory. Ask yourself how this challenge can teach you resilience, patience, or self-discipline. The victory lies in the way you react. The Stoics understood that our thoughts are our most powerful tools. In fact, they believed that we are the creators of our reality. We are what we think. All that we are arises from our thoughts. With our thoughts, we make the world. By practicing mindful control over our thoughts, we shape the world around us, not by external forces, but through the power of a disciplined mind. Here's a simple practice. Each morning, take a few moments to reflect on your goals and challenges. Ask yourself, what is in my control today? Focus on this and let go of the rest. If you encounter obstacles, remember that they are part of the journey. Instead of feeling defeated, remind yourself, the obstacle is the way. By changing the way you think, you begin to see challenges not as barriers, but as opportunities for growth. Your success doesn't depend on reaching a specific goal, but on how you handle life's ups and downs with a resilient, stoic mindset. In conclusion, success starts in the mind. When you can control your thoughts, you can navigate any obstacle with confidence. The Stoic approach to life teaches us that the real victory is not in achieving external goals, but in how we face each day with wisdom, patience, and clarity. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius put it, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. So, start today by training your mind to focus on what you can control, and you'll find yourself living a life of inner victory. Number 2. Action every day is a victory. Think about your day. You wake up, start your morning routine, and face a variety of tasks ahead. Yet, at the end of the day, how often do we pause to reflect on whether we've truly won or not? We often measure success by big, external milestones, a promotion, a new achievement, or a completed project. But what if the real victories lie in the small, daily actions we take? A few months ago, I had a conversation with a friend who was feeling defeated. She was stuck in a cycle where she felt like her goals were always just out of reach. She compared her progress to others, and each day felt like a race that she was losing. I asked her to stop. Instead of focusing on an end goal, I encouraged her to ask herself, what action, however small, can I take today that will move me forward? It was a simple shift in perspective. This idea is rooted in Stoic philosophy, which teaches us that success is not determined by grand achievements, but by the quality of our daily actions. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, famously said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This doesn't just apply to material wealth. It applies to how we view our progress. It's not about the big picture. It's about the small, deliberate actions we take every day. Each small step you take towards your goals is a victory in itself. It might seem insignificant at the moment, but when added together, these actions shape your success. It's easy to get lost in the idea that success is a distant dream. We see others accomplishing big things, and we measure ourselves by their yardstick. But this comparison is dangerous. It pulls us away from focusing on what's in our control: our actions, our mindset, and our decisions in the present moment. Take a moment to think about the Stoic concept of virtue. The idea that living a good life comes not from external success, but from living according to wisdom, courage, justice, and moderation. The Stoics believed that these virtues were cultivated through consistent practice. In the same way, your success doesn't come from one big breakthrough. It's shaped by how you live each day with intention and purpose. I remember another time when I felt overwhelmed by the sheer volume of tasks I had to complete. I had a goal, but the path to achieving it felt unclear. I found myself frustrated, wondering how I could ever get there. But then I remembered something from Marcus Aurelius. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This is one of the central teachings of Stoicism. When you feel stuck, the very obstacle in front of you is the path forward. It's a lesson in how to turn struggles into stepping stones. So how can you apply this to your own life? It starts with the mindset of focusing on daily action rather than the outcome. Instead of setting your eyes only on the end goal, look at what you can do today to inch closer. Even small tasks, writing a page, making a call, taking a walk, are victories if they align with your greater purpose. They move you forward. The Stoics believed in living according to nature, meaning aligning our actions with our values. If your goal is to live a purpose-driven life, your daily actions must reflect that. It's about integrity, acting in ways that are true to your principles. When you do this consistently, you start to see that each action becomes its own victory. The key is to take one step at a time and not be discouraged by the bigger picture. For example, if your goal is to overcome a personal obstacle, it might seem impossible to conquer it all at once. But by taking small steps, addressing the issue bit by bit, seeking wisdom when needed, practicing patience, you're making progress. Each day that you commit to this process is a victory. How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself? Seneca asks. The answer: start today in the smallest of actions. Success is not the result of one monumental event, but of many small decisions made consistently. It's in the actions you take every day. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment or the grand success, ask yourself, what can I do today that will move me closer to my goal? That daily action becomes your victory, and with each victory, your life becomes a testament to the Stoic approach, focusing on what you control and accepting what you cannot. In conclusion, remember that every day is a new opportunity for a small victory. Your success is not just a distant destination, but a result of your actions, decisions, and mindset in the present moment. By focusing on small, intentional steps, you will see how the true victory lies in living each day with purpose, regardless of external outcomes. As the Stoics would say, do not wait for the right moment to act, for the right moment is always now. Number 3. Live as if you have already succeeded. Imagine for a moment that you've already achieved your greatest goal. Maybe it's a career milestone, personal growth, or a sense of inner peace that you've long desired. How would you act? What choices would you make today if success wasn't a distant dream, but a present reality? This idea came to me one day as I was reflecting on my own journey. For years, I worked relentlessly towards building my business. I chased external markers of success, profit, recognition, achievements, yet something felt missing. It wasn't until a mentor shared a piece of wisdom from the Stoic philosophers that my perspective changed. What we do now echoes in eternity, Marcus Aurelius once said. This line shifted my mindset. Instead of waiting for the right moment or the big breakthrough, I realized I needed to live as if I had already succeeded. And that's when the transformation began. The Stoic philosophy teaches us that true success doesn't lie in external validation, wealth, or status, but in the internal victory of living according to our values. Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, once wrote, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This speaks to the power of mindset. Success, in the Stoic sense, is not about waiting for something to happen, but about how you approach life in each moment. It's about embodying the person you aim to become, not as a future goal, but as an active reality. Now let's apply this principle to your life. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment to live successfully. Start today by shifting your perspective and embodying the qualities of success you desire. This isn't about faking it or pretending. It's about aligning your daily actions, mindset, and values with the person you aim to become. For example, if your goal is to lead a successful business, don't wait for that big deal or the company recognition to feel accomplished. Start living as though you've already achieved it. Take decisive actions, practice integrity in your decisions, and treat your work as if it were already successful. By doing so, you are not only setting yourself up for success, but also cultivating the internal victory that the Stoics revered. The concept of living as if you've already succeeded is deeply connected to the Stoic principle of virtue, living in alignment with your true values. The Stoics believe that virtue is the only true good, and everything else, wealth, power, status, is indifferent. So, instead of chasing external markers of success, focus on the virtue of the present moment. Do your best, practice discipline, and be consistent, regardless of the outcome. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca wrote, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." Life, in other words, is the process of refining your character, and each moment is an opportunity to live according to your highest values. Let's take a look at another practical application. Imagine you're facing an obstacle, perhaps a difficult conversation or a challenging project. It's easy to think, "I can't do this yet. I'm not ready." But what if, instead of thinking of yourself as someone still striving to achieve success, you thought of yourself as already having succeeded? How would you approach the problem then? Perhaps with confidence, composure, and focus, knowing that this challenge is just a part of the process of living according to your purpose. Living as if you've already succeeded means responding to difficulties with resilience. It's about cultivating inner peace, knowing that your actions today are enough, regardless of the external outcome. This ties into the Stoic idea of indifference, the belief that we should not be attached to the results, but rather focus on the process, the effort, and the virtue behind our actions. By living as if you've already succeeded, you are not only preparing yourself for the future, but you are actively shaping your present. You are taking control of your mindset, overcoming obstacles with clarity, and embracing the journey rather than focusing on distant goals. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Every challenge you face is an opportunity for growth, for you to embody the successful person you're becoming, not in the future, but right now. In conclusion, success is not just a destination, it's a mindset that you can cultivate today. By living as though you've already succeeded, you align your actions, mindset, and values with the person you aim to become. The Stoic philosophers teach us that true victory lies in how we live each day, not in the accolades or achievements we accumulate. So, live now with purpose and integrity. Make today your victory, and the success you seek will follow naturally. Success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. If you live with happiness, purpose, and virtue today, success is sure to follow. Number 4. Creating a sense of victory from within. There was a moment in my journey when I realized something profound. Victory isn't just something external. For years I thought success was defined by what I achieved, how much money I made, how many people recognized me, and how many milestones I hit. But as I stood on the verge of what I had once believed to be success, I found myself feeling empty. This wasn't a lack of accomplishment, it was a lack of inner peace. One day, during a quiet moment of reflection, I recalled a Stoic principle. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. It clicked. Success, the Stoic way, isn't about having more. It's about finding contentment and fulfillment with what is within you right now. The Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, believed that our minds are our greatest allies in the pursuit of peace and purpose. They recognized that no external force could create true happiness, and that the key to victory is internal, the way we view and react to life's events. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, Marcus wrote. This shifted my entire approach. Instead of seeking external markers of success, I began to understand that victory could be created from within, simply by controlling my thoughts and actions. This idea may seem simple, but it's not always easy. We live in a world that often measures success by external standards, by what we have or what we've achieved. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that happiness is something to chase or something that will arrive when we reach a certain goal. But that's not how Stoicism teaches us to think. The Stoic idea of amor fati, love of fate, teaches us to accept every part of our journey, even the painful moments, as opportunities for growth. When we embrace life as it is, without resistance, we begin to feel an inner victory. This doesn't mean that everything is perfect, but it means that we accept imperfections and understand that challenges are a necessary part of the process. Let's take a practical example. Suppose you're facing a difficult task at work. Maybe you're overwhelmed by the pressure or unsure if you can succeed. It's easy to feel defeated, to look outward for solutions, but the Stoics would encourage you to turn inward. What you are is what you have been. What you will be is what you do now. As the Stoic philosopher Buddha said, in those moments of doubt, you can choose to reshape your inner world. Rather than focusing on the external circumstances, focus on your ability to control your response. Recognize that your strength is not measured by the outcome of the task, but by your determination to give your best effort, regardless of the result. This practice, this mindset of inner victory, is transformative. It's not about winning every battle. It's about the process, the mindset, and the growth you experience as you navigate life. As Epictetus advised, it's not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them. The key to creating an internal sense of victory is not in avoiding challenges, but in how we choose to respond to them. When we shift our focus from external validation to inner satisfaction, we begin to feel a deep sense of peace and accomplishment. Now let's bring this into your life. Think about a recent situation where you felt like a failure or felt discouraged. Perhaps it was a personal challenge or a professional setback. Ask yourself, How did I respond? Did you let the external situation dictate your inner world, or did you choose to remain steady, focused, and at peace? The Stoics teach us that our reactions, not external circumstances, shape our reality. He who is brave is free, Seneca wrote. And it's true. The more we embrace this freedom from external expectations, the more we create a sense of victory within ourselves. True success isn't in what we gain, but in how we grow. As you reflect on this, consider your own daily choices. Are you focusing on external achievements, or are you cultivating an inner sense of peace and purpose? By controlling your thoughts, embracing challenges, and accepting your fate with courage, you can create a sense of victory from within that is unshakable, no matter what the world throws at you. In the end, the Stoics remind us that victory is not just a destination, but a journey. And that journey starts with how we view ourselves and the world around us. It's not about the accolades or achievements, it's about mastering your thoughts, reactions, and emotions. When you can do that, you will have already won, even before the external world recognizes it. The obstacle is the way, Marcus Aurelius said. Embrace every challenge as an opportunity to cultivate victory from within. Number 5. Patience and persistence on the journey to victory. As we embark on any journey toward success, one of the most important qualities we must cultivate is patience. This is something I've personally learned through countless challenges. Early in my career, I was eager for quick results. I wanted to see immediate rewards for the hard work I put in. But life, much like the Stoic philosophers taught us, has its own rhythm. Success doesn't come overnight. It takes time, and more importantly, it takes endurance. Seneca, the great Stoic philosopher, once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." These words struck me deeply. The journey to victory isn't about overcoming others. It's about overcoming our own impatience, our tendency to rush, and our need for instant gratification. If we can master patience, we gain the freedom to act steadily, wisely, and purposefully, no matter the obstacles in our path. Take a moment to reflect. When you face setbacks in your own life, do you feel tempted to give up? The immediate impulse is often to walk away or lose hope. But Stoicism teaches us that true growth comes from how we respond in those moments. It's not about avoiding difficulty, but about learning to embrace it with strength and resolve. Remember what Marcus Aurelius said, "What stands in the way becomes the way." The obstacles themselves are the path forward. Patience is not about passively waiting, it's about enduring and persevering through challenges. It's about showing up every day with the knowledge that every small effort, every tiny improvement, brings you closer to your ultimate goal. Think of a stone carving. Each strike of the chisel may seem insignificant, but over time the form of the statue begins to emerge. Success is the same way. Every day you continue moving forward. You are shaping your future. Here's a practical approach to incorporating patience and persistence into your life. Start small. Break down your big goals into smaller, manageable tasks. Ask yourself, what can I accomplish today that will bring me closer to my goal? And then focus on that one thing. Avoid distractions and do not let setbacks sway you from your path. Remember, Stoic philosophy doesn't promise a smooth road. It simply promises that you have the strength to handle what comes your way. I remember a friend of mine who struggled with consistency when it came to working out. She was frustrated by the lack of visible results after just a few weeks of hard work. She almost quit, convinced that her efforts weren't paying off. But I reminded her of a powerful Stoic principle. The obstacle is the way. In this case, the obstacle wasn't just the external challenge of getting in shape. It was her own impatience. I encouraged her to keep going, to stay committed, and to trust the process. Today, months later, she's not only physically stronger, but mentally stronger as well. She's learned that true success comes from consistent effort, not from seeking instant rewards. So how do we apply this in our own lives? The key is to build a mindset that doesn't expect immediate success. You don't need to be perfect, but you do need to show up and put in the work. The Stoics teach us that we should not concern ourselves with the outcome, only with doing what is within our control. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality, said Seneca. Many times, the worry about the future and the fear of failure are what stop us from taking that next step. If you're feeling overwhelmed or discouraged, remember that you are on the path to success, even if it doesn't feel like it right now. Keep practicing patience. Take it day by day. Acknowledge your small wins, no matter how insignificant they may seem, because they are building the foundation for your larger victory. Just like the Stoic philosophers, we must commit ourselves to doing what is necessary, to keeping our minds clear, and to moving forward with the quiet strength of someone who knows that success is earned over time. Remember, success is not about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about doing the hard work and staying focused, even when the results aren't immediate. By applying the Stoic mindset of patience and persistence, we can build a life driven by purpose and internal victory, free from the noise and stress of external expectations. So, how will you practice patience today? How will you show up with persistence, even when the outcome seems far away? The journey is yours to take, and each step you make brings you closer to a version of yourself that is truly victorious. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. As we close today's discussion, I want you to take this to heart. The true path to success begins from within. The Stoics remind us that by mastering our thoughts, embracing challenges, and focusing on our inner strength, we are already victorious, regardless of external outcomes. Now it's your turn. I encourage you to take action today. Begin cultivating that inner victory, no matter where you are or what you're facing. Reflect on how you can shift your mindset to align with Stoic principles and create a deeper sense of fulfillment in your life. If this video resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Please share your reflections in the comments below, and let's continue this journey together. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Stoic Narratives Official for more wisdom. Tomorrow's video will take this a step further. Trust me, you won't want to miss it.